What is the best LEGO set of 2023? With the year coming to an end and with most LEGO adult releases being on shelves, I figured it's time to look back and go over my personal favorites over a different range of categories, leading all the way to what I consider to be the best LEGO set of the year. So without further ado, let's start with the Best Building Experience Award. Fans of The Lord of the Rings were in disbelief as out of nowhere LEGO decided to bring back a theme everyone wanted for years in the form of the amazing looking Rivendell set. Not only does it look that good, recreating parts of the Elven Valley, it also contains every character of the Fellowship of the Ring in a single box, as well as a couple others, but it was one of the most incredible building experiences I've had in recent years. The way angled sections come together flawlessly, never seen before building techniques with amazing results, lining up tiles in an unconventional way, using weird combinations of elements for a beautiful looking gazebo, and so much more. Made the 6,000 piece LEGO model one of the most enjoyable ones to build this year every step of the way. The Batcave Shadow box might just look like a big, boring black box of pieces. Even I felt the same prior to building it, but nothing prepared me for what happened next. In a world of super advanced LEGO sets with crazy piece usage and building techniques, here comes a product that uses a ton of basic bricks, something we hardly ever see these days, and sent me back to my childhood where I would spend hours without end playing with my bucket of basic pieces. It was amazing to build and see these huge walls taking shape with no shortcuts and shenanigans, just the good old basic bricks we all love. You may be scratching your heads right now, but it's no joke. The Amazing Spider-Man was a lot more enjoyable to build than I could ever have guessed. Like, for real. The base of the build is pretty straightforward with interesting color choices that not a whole lot of people seem to enjoy, but when getting to some of the shape and angle details, the product started to shine, with a lot of very advanced building techniques to get some of these parts just right. It may look simple and not that big of a deal when completed, but building it was definitely a surprise. The Concorde is on a whole different level as far as building techniques go, to the point of being really difficult to explain how good it was. The way the whole build is super sturdy while being extremely long was surprising. The studs not on top techniques, the curved sections, and even the mechanisms were all brilliantly crafted. So out of my 4 picks for building experience, the Concorde is the one taking the prize this year. So if you're looking for something super challenging and difficult to build, this is the one. For the Best Functions Award, I'll start with another surprising theme revival by LEGO, Indiana Jones. The Temple of the Golden Idol set might just look like a cool display piece given the black base some of the diorama sets have, but it does have a lot more going on for it. At the front of the model, all of these knobs trigger different mechanisms, with some being simple trapdoors or swinging motions, while the other two make the boulder rolling down the temple iconic scene with amazing piece usage. And the last one has a 3-stage mechanism in which the light brick lights up, the idol goes down, and lastly the statue falls, again all triggered by just one crank. So good. Next up is the Pac-Man Arcade, and no, you can't really play the game in it, LEGO can only get you so far. But there's this add-on with Pac-Man and 2 ghosts that turn in sync by the push of a button, which is super satisfying to trigger. On top of that, you can change the score up there, move the joystick as if you're playing, press the start button to trigger the light brick, illuminating the coin slot. But the most impressive function of them all happens when turning this crank around, making all of the characters in the arcade move in a few different set patterns, all of which work with the use of an unexpectedly simple mechanism that can be seen in the back and the chain links buried deep in the front-facing side of the arcade. The Batcave makes another list by having a couple interesting functions as well. There's this armory here, opening side to side revealing Batman's batarangs, the garage door, so to speak, that drops at the push of a button, a super dramatic suite reveal by the turn of a knob with light brick effects as well, but my favorite function has to be the changing screens of the Bat computer. A simple mechanism to match the simple nature of this set, but by no means less impressive than any other product featured in this category. Another repeat of the video is the Concorde that rightfully deserves the spot here. The iconic droop snoot is a simple function but a good representation of what the actual plane did back in the day, though my highlight goes to the landing gear phase. function triggered by turning the tail of the plane, which is fun while hiding in plain sight, that manages to lower all 3 sets of wheels with different angled motions in sync. That is really impressive to see working up close. And with that, out of the 4 sets I voted for the Best Function award, Pac-Man, with an outstanding execution of both the Ghost Scythe build and the Crank that rules them all function, rightfully wins the prize this year. The Best Value award starts off with the Jazz Club modular building. People oftentimes don't agree that price per piece ratio is a good metric to evaluate a LEGO product worth, but for me it's an important factor because you do get more LEGO pieces for your money. And the Jazz Club has 2,900 pieces for $230, which is really good value every day of the week. Yes, some pieces are small, but think about this. More pieces, regardless of size, also means your LEGO set will last longer to build. Spending big bucks on a LEGO product and being done with it half an hour later must make one question their LEGO purchases, right? Tales of the Space Age, with a retail price of $50 and almost 700 pieces, fits the bill for this category, but it also provides that nostalgia value I had when building the Batcave Shadow Box due to having lots of basic bricks. It can also be shared by 4 people at the same time, so it also has a social building value aspect to it, and personally speaking, it also displays real nice with the space-inspired postcards with that minimalistic design and beautiful color choices. The LEGO Ideas Viking Village is outstanding in many aspects, including its price. 2,100 pieces for $130 is unheard of, especially when you consider most minifigure parts are somewhat exclusive, and there's no stickers included in the set in favor of just printed pieces, which are known to be pricier to produce on LEGO's hand. For a set this size, it could have worked with an extra figure or 2, and that could help understand the pricing, but still, by today's standards, a set like this with this kind of price and piece count is literally impossible to find anywhere in the portfolio in the last 10 years or more. It may seem like a joke, but Captain America's shield does have a lot of value, being priced at $200 and having over 3,000 pieces. Sure, it could have had an exclusive Captain America minifigure that hasn't been used in a ton of other LEGO sets, but other than that, and the stupidly boring nature of the build, truth is, and considering the Marvel LEGO prices for sets like the Black Panther or the Hulkbuster, never in my life I would have imagined this price per piece ratio being possible with a set from this theme. And you might be inclined to think that this complex structure was achieved with a lot of Technic pieces, but no, it's mostly regular LEGO bricks and plates. So if nothing else, the set is extremely good for parts, especially if you find it with a discount, which isn't unlikely. And so, out of my 4 picks for best value, the LEGO Ideas Viking Village clearly stands out above every other product featured here, and so rightfully takes the prize. Now, for display value, it personally comes down to whether or not most people will be able to display a LEGO product at home. As much as I like the looks on Rivendell or the Concorde, these are super impractical LEGO sets to display, forcing people to probably buy new furniture, and so one that only requires a nail on a wall is Okusai's The Great Wave. I've said this plenty before, I like the look of it so much I'm considering displaying it at home, a place where I don't usually display any LEGO. On top of it, it was also a great build with interesting piece choices for some of the details, like the bird element recolored in white, no stickers, just prints, and could have been an honorable mention of the best value category, due to being priced at $100 and having over 1,800 pieces. The relatively big amount of small 1x1 round tiles didn't work in its favor though, but still an amazing display piece regardless. The Executor Superstar Destroyer makes the list because, as opposed to the likes of the UCS Venator and other similarly sized LEGO products, you'll be able to display it virtually anywhere without having to make a trip to IKEA to buy new furniture. While small in size, it perfectly captures the nature of the spaceship while being reasonably affordable, so I'm hoping LEGO pursues this scale going forward so that more people get to display their favorite Star Wars icons at home. Tales of the Space Age makes yet another list, so you can kinda see the trend and how much I like it, right? Its relatively small size, modular aspect and color choices make it to me a beautiful set with great display value that doesn't break the bank to purchase, which is always a great bonus, I think. As a big Harry Potter fan, the Hogwarts Castle and Ground set was an obvious inclusion for display value due to its relatively small footprint that will fit most spaces you have at home. When compared to Gringotts Bank and other previous big-scaled Harry Potter products for adults, it becomes clear why it fits the bill. Not only that, it perfectly captures the iconic castle of the wizarding world at that smallest scale, while packing a ton of references to the books and movies, not having a single sticker in favor of a ton of printed elements, and with over 2,600 pieces and priced at $170, could easily have made the best value sets listing as well. So these are the 4 picks for best display value, and this year I gotta give it to the LEGO art theme. The Great Wave is without a doubt the best product that line has done up until this point. With the increasing amount of huge releases LEGO puts out, I decided to include a Best Budget LEGO Set award this year to feature the best LEGO sets under $100. You know what's coming, so I won't even bother to explain why again. Tales of the Space Age makes the list. Next up is the Walt Disney Tribute Camera Set. Except for the price that at $100 for 800 pieces is borderline overpriced, the truth is this one is a brilliant product. The camera build looks outstanding, packed with detail with some hidden functions and secrets as well. That plastic foil piece with stills from classic Disney movies will make fans shed a tear, not to mention the exclusive character selection, featuring Mickey, Minnie, Walt Disney himself, as well as Bambi and Dumbo, exclusive new pieces so good that they don't even look LEGO. If you're into bugs, the Insect Collection is a neat little product. Priced at $80 and having over 1,100 pieces is the complete opposite of the Disney camera as far as value goes, while providing 3 distinct and colorful creatures that display beautifully as well. Building techniques are great to achieve some of the display bases, no stickers and some very clever part usage make it a worthy contender of the Best Budget LEGO Set award. It's maybe just a bit too niche and creepy for some people to be able to ultimately take the prize. Last on the list is the Piranha Plant. While being my least favorite 18+ Super Mario release LEGO has ever done, the amount of positive feedback it got due to the fact that it is an affordable product for a change was too great to ignore. It does a great job of recreating one of the most iconic Super Mario enemies of the games, and priced at $60 won't break the bank, while giving people something to proudly display on desks and gaming setups around the world. With that, these are the 4 picks for the best budget LEGO set, and as much as I wanted to give the prize to Tales of the Space Age, I think the rightful winner is in fact the LEGO Super Mario Piranha Plant. But now comes the time to choose the best overall LEGO set of the year. Rivendell in many ways reminds me of last year's winner Lion Knight's Castle, not because of the overall theme but building experience. It truly was a magnificent build from start to finish, which is very difficult to achieve in large-sized LEGO sets such as these without becoming boring or repetitive builds. I paid $500 for it, which is by no means cheap and something out of the range of many people's wallets, but one that I would encourage people saving for in favor of other purchases if they're fans of the Lord of the Rings and are working with tight budgets. Tales of the Space Age is definitely one of my favorite releases of the year. It's beautiful, small, cheap, and can be shared with other people. Lots of great things that very few 18+ LEGO products manage to deliver these days. I may be biased because I'm that much into space and science fiction, but whenever you wanna wind down, enjoy a true LEGO building experience without going broke, you really can't go wrong with this one. Looking back, the Concorde was one of the most impressive builds of the year. I really was skeptical about its sturdiness, and nothing really prepared me for how good of a time I would be having while building it. So with building experience being one of my favorite aspects of a LEGO set, with most I own eventually being broken down to pieces, the Concorde, while being extremely hard to display, still makes the list as one of the best releases of the year. Finally, the Viking Village still manages to impress me and became an extremely unfair object of comparison when pitted against most products in the LEGO portfolio. To this day, and with all I know from my time of working for LEGO, I still don't comprehend what kind of internal talks and deals were made to manage to place this much value in a single LEGO product. So for that reason, this is my fourth pick for the best LEGO set of the year. For the past year, I've been a big voice of smaller products being better than the oversized LEGO products, and while I still hold on to that, when compared to the other three, Tales of the Space Age doesn't stand a chance. Price per piece ratio, while for many being an unpopular metric, is to me a solid stat to measure part of a set's worth. But again, when the building experience is that much better, I don't mind paying a bit extra, therefore Viking Village is out. With the last two, both are really hard to display due to size, and as for price, while the Concorde is cheaper at $200 but only has a 10 cents per piece value, Rivendell has 8 cents per piece, which is great, but it did cost me $500, so I can't really untie them based on this. Both were amazing building experiences that I enjoyed every step of the way, but if I had to pick one based on the effort I also put into the review, the thrill I felt knowing I was posting my videos late, how much I enjoyed doing the research and how close to me it was as a theme, the best LEGO set of 2023 is for me LEGO Icons, The Lord of the Rings Rivendell. Hope you enjoyed this year's video. Let me know what were your personal picks, find links for all sets in the description if you wish to buy any and support the channel, and let's meet again in 2024.